Okay, it's midwinter, help's not coming very quickly. It's going to need some shelter. So you need to have a decent wool, or at least a really thick, warm, dry blanket in everybody's car all year round. We have dog blankets for this. I will be probably putting in a wool blanket at some point. Absolutely rubbish, but it's there. A cheap Mylar bag. Emergency Pond Show, keep the wind and the rain off you. In any sort of heat you'll sweat like a pig in these, but they're really good at keeping the wind off you and the rain off you, and they're the two things that are going to kill you by hypothermia. I got some of these, I'm not sure if they're worth the money. They're basically a souped up version of this. The reason I got this is because it's reusable and can be used as a tarp, so that's why I got that. So that's basically the shelter. I do have some stays in here in a little pack with some small toilet roller, tinder, and the bit. So the other thing I put in, which I wouldn't necessarily do in a bug out bag, is actually a survival candle. I think these are a great idea for the home once you are at the bug out location, and also for cars, because if you light all 3 wicks in a car and have the windows slightly open, please do not have the windows completely shut, however cold it is, you will actually get quite a few hours worth of heat. Now whatever these things claim, this claims 1 at a time, would last for 36 hours. Obviously 1 at a time you'd have to keep blowing it out and relighting it all around it, or it's going to fail quickly. So you can basically say this is going to last 12 hours with all 3 lit, which for most situations in a car kit is going to be a great idea. And hopefully they wouldn't have to use this, but you can actually also use this as a stove. And yes, this is a get home kit. So I have an Easy Bit stove in here. These are vastly expensive for what they are, so buy them when they're on sale. I put 4 of the little gasoline briquettes in there, and I'll put the other 2 in somewhere else as well so you can get them. So you're now able to cook. For cooking equipment, get good quality. However poor you are, however limited it is, this is the cheapest good quality one I can find that I would recommend. It isn't titanium, it is fairly heavy, but it works, and it works well with repeated use. That is a key thing. Now in get home bags you could maybe go cheaper, but I'm not going to. So you have a good lid, you can heat this up, you have the little cups in there, and you can use this for boiling water to purify it in a pinch. You can also do many other things with this. So again, have a good cooking pot. Now you can miss the cooking pot and have a water bottle that's 1 chambered stainless steel, or titanium if you've got tons of money, with a really wide neck, and you could use that as water boiling and also for cooking. Water bottles you should have in the car. You should have extra water bottles hanging out in the car. Food, get home, right? Survival rations in the car. It's going to get really hot, it's going to get really cold. We're not going to spend too much time fussing about it. So 3,600 calories is not going to allow him to come home for 2 or 3 days and not lose weight. I would argue 3,600 calories is not, you're still going to lose weight in a 24-hour period, in grid down, if you're booting to get home quick because the car's no longer functional and the lights are all out everywhere and you don't know what's going on. But these have a place. They are expensive per calorie, but they actually, and they're heavy, but they have a place in car kits specifically because they actually are able to withstand a lot of the hot and cold. Now if you are allergic to coconut, avoid these at all costs. If you want to put sachets of coffee in tea, I recommend that. I think it's really useful, especially if you're not bugging out back from the car, but you're waiting a long period of time because there's a massive snowstorm, like 2 or 3 days, for somebody to come, the army to show up to actually take you out to a survival centre whilst the snow's being dealt with. It'd be a good idea to have cold. But I am putting these in. The brother-in-law's vegan, so he's getting vegetable bouillon. Beef bouillon, chicken bouillon cubes, half a cube in this much water in a cup is a really nice drink. Was used a lot in England when I was growing up. I don't know if you guys still do. Also a good supply of salt. If it's hot, you need salt. Just to be cool, I also put in this, 1 of these, again, this is to give him some concept of what he wants to put in it. He's going to evolve the kit to suit his nutritional needs and what he expects to have to access in grid down. But I think it's a good idea to show him one of these, so give him one of these so he has the concept. These can be eaten cold if you heat them up on your belly for about 3 or 4 hours, but you should be able to heat these easily. I'm putting one in. I'm also putting this in because, like I say, this is not just a get home bag as a present. This is a get home starter kit to give him the concepts, the ideas of what I was thinking when I put it together to show him what he can do. So again, some nutritional supplements that you can eat as on-the-go food is actually a really good idea. What about water? You should all be screaming. Water is life. 100 litres of purified water, right here. Aquatabs, get home. This would last him 20 days and he wouldn't have to gather waste fuel, boiling water. He wouldn't have to tell people around him that he's cooking to boil water in grid down, and he wouldn't have to spend a lot of time boiling large amounts of water and then waiting for it to cool. So yeah, Aquatabs, I really like them. Get home kit. So he's going to have some knife and fork and a plastic spoon in it. This will help him out a little bit. The knife, to be honest with you, you can use this thing. That's what I've used before when I forgot a knife. Knives work well for that. And what else we put in here that's kind of bizarre? I put this bizarre stuff to the end. These are vegan wraps. You actually wrap these. These can unpeel, and there's 3 of them, different sizes. And you can use these to cover stuff up. So if you had, say, some food in the car, and it was grid down and you came across some food, you could use these to cover it up and keep insects and ants out of it whilst travelling it. You can also use these to provide a strong waterproof covering to any part of this equipment he wants. You can also use these to collect foraged food items in, and keep them going and not have them all squishing around in the bag. So for the weight and space, I think this side of the thing's a good idea. Now traditionally we go with Ziploc bags. These are more advantageous because they are multi-use and you can reuse Ziploc bags. But these are reusable for months, and they also will get rid of any extra air space and hold that space, whereas a Ziploc bag will just, even if you suck the air out, tends to bruise what's ever in it. So that's one of the kind of the weird things I put in it. And oh yeah, last few items. A compass, so he knows which way he's going. This compass also has a signalling mirror on it. Right? Not a great compass, but it will work. It will tell him where north and south is. A little notebook and some pencils which you can sharpen using the knife. It's kind of important in a lot of scenarios to be able to not trust your memory and write down stuff. You can leave notes for people, you can write your last will and testament in case your body's found, that sort of thing. Useful thing to have, be able to write notes. I also put in an actual water bag. So you can use dry bags as water containers to gather water before you purify it with the Aquatab. You can also store equipment in it that you wish to store in it, like electronics, and have some degree of waterproofing. Not a lot of waterproofing, but some. Everyone should always have these in every bag as well. Everyone should also have these loose in the car. This is Body Shop hand rub. Hand sanitation is always a good idea, you don't need a lot. Oops. And it smells nice. You can use it on your face as well, not on your eyes and mucous membranes, so stay away from the wibbly bits. It's also one awesome fire accelerant. So make sure you get plenty of this stuff. Make sure if you are buying it from dollar stores that it actually works. It's the amount of alcohol that you're looking for. Gels are actually preferable than liquids because gels, you can use less of it and it's more easy to actually spread it over the hand. And for fire starting, a gel's a lot better as well because it won't just evaporate. Right? I've also put in Gorilla Tape, multiple use, good quality tape. It's duct tape. You can use cheap duct tape from the pound store, the dollar store if you want. But I would rather have tape that I know is going to work well. What else do we have? Well, for giggles, I actually bought 4 of these. really don't think these have much place in prepping. I do think they have a use in emergency situations day to day. So he's going to get one of these in there. It has an absolutely bizarre bunch of tools in this. A little wire saw, a backup compass, a backup knife with a carabiner, some carabiners so we can attach extra kit to the bag. The extra flashlight I probably won't include for him in this because he's going to have 3 anyway. The everyday little multi-tool that we've all seen and carried and have occasional use. Good for opening beer bottles if you're scavenging some beer. A tactical pen which I would never buy, but again, writing instruments are a good idea to have. And the ability to smash windows and maybe use these in a threat situation. It's also a good idea to have. For the weight and utility, I'd rather have a pencil and a pad, and I'd rather have a big knife. That's just me. A whistle. Everybody should have a whistle. And a fire steel. So with a little tool on it. So I put it in because I got one, and it will help him think about prepping more than get home. It has some uses in prepping in get home situations. He's going to have at least 2 of these, and probably some boxes of matches as well. So he'd have to be out there an awfully long time trying to get home before he needed that, but you never know. The other thing I bought these 4 little kits for was to actually get hold of these, because I think these are a complete waste of money. I mean, that's a really good flat compass, right? So these, again, are kind of rubbishy, but the idea behind these for me would be that in a grid down situation, I actually want a small, useless fire steel. I want a small, useless compass. I want a small, useless knife. I want a small, useless whistle on me at all times. Because I don't know what's going to happen. I will have an EDC that I'll design for grid down use. I will have get home bags and all the rest of that stuff for grid down use. But I can really see having one of these on my wrist in a situation of grid down in a world without law would not be a waste of time. For the cost of them in the here and now, really? I don't know. I don't think it's worth it. But they came with the kits, so I got them for free. So yeah, that's basically, I think, about it. Kind of a different type of a kit. I haven't put a kit together for anybody else other than Kitty. When I was putting Kitty's kit together, I was actually imagining myself with Kitty, and then I was thinking, well, Kitty was on her own. So quite a bit of Kitty's kit, which needs revamping, because it was actually built 4 years ago. Most of her kit for me was stuff I felt I needed, right? So if you're actually building a kit for somebody, you're going to put a lot of stuff in that kit that you think you need. But the truth is their needs are going to be different, and their perspectives and skill levels are going to be different. So if you are going to do a kit for somebody for Christmas or a birthday coming up, and I think that's a wonderful idea, what you need to do is design the kit for their needs, their geography, their skill level. There's not much point making a kit for somebody that most of the stuff they won't know how to use it, or they would never use it, or they'd use it incorrectly. So yeah, what do you think about that? Kind of a longish video, but I just wanted to show you this. I've been meaning to put this together for a while. If you got to this point in the video, congratulations. My giveaway that I was running for Homestead Tessie kind of died because for the first time ever, all of the video links that were put on the return video, apart from one that was posted again, were erased by YouTube. So it kind of screwed me up. So I'm going to go through Tessie's videos when I get a chance. I'm dead busy, and I'm going to find out who actually entered the GAW, and I'm going to give them some prizes. But I'm also going to be running another GAW in the near future, which is going to be a somewhat untraditional GAW. One of the prizes will be multiple, so there will be at least probably 1 or 2 of these kits unused in it. There will be several first aid kits that I put together for you guys in it. There'll all be lots of bits and pieces. So there will be some firelights and there'll be some compasses. There'll be a whole bunch of stuff. But realistically speaking, I think I'm going to make it a Christmas giveaway bar, because even though it's middle of September, there is no chance in the next 4 to 6 to 8 weeks I'm going to have any time at all to do anything. So yeah, that being said, I hope you like this and give me feedback. There won't be any discussion or showing guns in any of my videos because I live in Canada, and what people put in for self-protection is up to them. But my modus operandi is that if you have to use a gun in Grid Down, you prepped wrong. You should be able to get home, you should be able to bug out without engaging in a firefight. But you might have to. But you really should not be using a gun as mental safety. A gun means that somebody else has a gun and may use one on you, and you need to have a gun to retaliate or to get the drop on them. Either scenario is a dangerous scenario. So you don't want to have overconfidence by having a sidearm or a rifle. You want to, if you have them, that's good, but you don't want to think of them as confidence. They're last resort items. They're the items that you will use when bullets or knives are aimed at you or might about to be aimed at you. If you do get hit or stabbed in Grid Down, that's probably going to be the end of you. Here's the bag. Not heavy at all. There's still extra space in here, which is also important when you give a gift like this, so they can actually add stuff before removal. The flashlight's there, the main one, but because of that little kit I got, I actually also put this on the outside as well. So the water and stuff, the organisation of this should be personal, so I'm not worried too much about how I've organised it. The negatives of the bag is there is no waist strap. The positives of the bag is that the straps are broad and it should be fairly easy. It should be rugged enough to get home, in a get home situation. I would really recommend getting a really high quality bag for a bug out or a never coming home situation. This would not be the bag. But the bag price is cheap and it is invisible at night and doesn't scream tactical during the day. Just saying. Toodles.
I saw Adam leave the garden with an apple in his hand. I said, now you're out, what are you gonna do? Plant my crops and pray for rain, maybe raise a little cane. I'm an orphan now and only passing through. Passing through, passing through.